Good morning, students. Our today's topic in the subject of mathematics in O-level class is graphs of quadratic equations. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start now. So the first point to understand and remember. So the graphs of the linear equation which we have learned. So we learned that the graph of a linear equation in two variables such as y is equal to 2x plus 1 is a straight line. So we have learned in the graphs of the linear equation that the graph of the linear equation is always a straight line. In this chapter, we shall consider the graph of a quadratic equation in two variables. Say y is equal to x square minus x plus 1. So you can see here are two variables, x and y. We shall see that unlike linear graphs, quadratic graphs involve curves. So this is the point to remember. The graphs of the linear equations are straight lines, whereas the graphs of the quadratic equation will be curves. The next thing that we are going to read is the graphs of the general quadratic equations in two variables. So concentrate yourself. Here are the concepts. The general form of the quadratic equation is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b and c are the real numbers and a is not equal to 0. So a will not equal to 0. So this is the point, and ABC will be real numbers. The steps used for drawing linear graphs in two variables can be used for drawing graphs of any equation in two variables. So this is the point. Whatever the steps that you have learned in linear graphs will be used in making the graph of the quadratic equation. Let us revise the steps for drawing graphs in two variables. First step will be choose a suitable scale for the x-axis and y-axis so that the graph will be more than half the size of the graph paper. So this is very important point. You may choose any kind of the scale on the x-axis and y-axis. The scale may be same for x-axis and y-axis and may be different for the same question. So x-axis scale may be different and y-axis scale may be different. But the thing to remember is do not use awkward graphs. For example, 1 centimeter to represent 2.5 units or 2.3 units. So do not use awkward scales. The next point is construct a table of the x and y values for the equation. And the final step will be plot the points on the graph paper and join them up to form a smooth curve. So points will be joined now in this topic with the freehand curve, not with the scale. So points will be plotted and will be joined by freehand curve like this one or this one. Here is a question now that will make your concepts more clear. The question is draw the graphs of y is equal to x square plus 1 and y is equal to minus x square plus 1 for x is greater than or equal to minus 4, lesser than or equal to 4. Find from each graphs. So these are the things which will be later find. So first thing is to draw the graphs. So here are two graphs which are required to draw on the same sheet of the paper for this range. So look now. First we will plot these points. So minus 4 to plus 4. So look now, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have to follow the range. Now there are two graphs, y is equal to x square plus 1. So this is y is equal to x square plus 1. And second is y is equal to minus x square plus 1. So this is y is equal to minus x square plus 1. So now we will put these values of x one by one into first equation and we will get the corresponding y's values. So look now, if minus 4 is put here, so minus 4 square will be 16 plus 1 will make 17. So look now, here is 17. When minus 3 will be put, so minus 3 square will be 9 plus 1 will be 10 and up to so on. Likewise in this graph, so corresponding values of the y will be obtained for both equations. So now we are going to plot these points. So for this equation, minus 417, minus 310, minus 2 5, so these two rows are the set of the values for this equation, and first row and third row are the respective x and y values for the second equation. So now we are going to plot the values and we will join the curves with the freehand curve. So look now, here is the graph. So first we will make the x-axis and y-axis and we will choose a suitable scale. So from here again you can see actually x values are from -4 to +4 and y's values for first equation is from 1 to 17 and for the second equation is from 0 to -15. So according to the values, we have choose a scale that is for x-axis 2 centimeter to 1 unit and for y-axis 1 centimeter to 2 units. So first the values are plotted on the x-axis and y-axis. Now the respective pairs of the values are plotted on the graph paper. So these are the values for the second equation, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and these are the values for the first equation. Now these points will be joined with freehand curve. Okay, so after this, now we will be able to find the values from the graph paper. So look now, the further thing that is required after drawing the graph paper is a part the value of y when x is equal to 2.5. So the value of y when x is equal to 2.5. So concentrate yourself now. So here is the graph now. So we will find 2.5 on the x-axis. So look now, this is the point 2.5 that is exactly between 2 and 3. So because 2 centimeter is represented by 1 unit, so that's why exactly the middle point will be 2.5. So from here you will touch the upper graph and the lower graph as well, because on the same sheet of graph paper there are two graphs. So 2.5, here we will draw the vertical line with the help of scale that will touch the upper graph as well as the lower graph, and from here we will draw the horizontal lines from the lower graph that will touch here. The value will be -5.2, and the upper graph from here the value will be 7.2. The thing to understand it, first you have full grip. So what your sheet of graph paper is telling you. So look now, on the x-axis actually there are 10 small boxes from here to here. So it means one small box is representing 0.1, and on the y-axis 5 small boxes are represented by 2. So it means one small box will represent 0.4. So this is the thing to understand. For y-axis 0.4 and for x-axis 0.1. So actually these will help you to find the values. Look further. The B part is the coordinates of the maximum and the minimum point. So here is the graph. So for this graph, this point is the minimum point, and for this graph, this point is the maximum point. And look now, that is actually passing through 1 0 point on the y-axis. So sorry, 0 1 point on the y-axis. So actually 0 1 point is the maximum point. So look now, the minimum point of y is equal to x square plus 1, that is the upper point, upper curve. So for upper curve, minimum point was this one, 0 1, and the maximum point for minus x square plus 1, so that was the lower curve. So same point, same point is there. This is the point which is minimum for the upper curve, and this is the same point which is maximum for the lower curve. So look again now. So from here you can see this is the upper curve, which is y is equal to x square plus 1, and this is the lower curve, that is y is equal to minus x square plus 1. Okay, moving further, the next requirement in the question is the equation of the line of the symmetry. So first, make your concepts clear. The line of a symmetry is a line which exactly divide the figure into two equal halves. So this is a line from which the two parts overlap on one another. So look now, here is the graph, and from the graph you can see this is the line which actually making this curve half and this curve half. So at this line, if we overlap the curves or figure, that will exactly overlap on one another. So this is the thing. So y-axis is the line of symmetry, and the equation of the y-axis is x is equal to 0. So look now here, for both curves, the y-axis is the line of symmetry and its equation is x is equal to 0. Here is another question. The statement is draw the graph of y is equal to x square plus 2x plus 2 for x is greater than or equal to minus 3 and lesser than or equal to 3. From the graph, find the maximum values. Or okay, some requirements will be there that we will find later, but the first task before us, drawing the graph. So look now, here is the equation and here is the condition that we have to follow. So look now, these are the values of x from minus 3 to plus 3. So we are plotting these values. So minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And putting these values one by one into the equation will give us the respective values of y. So look now, when minus 3 will be put, so minus 3 square is 9. Here will be minus 6. So 9 minus 6 will be 3. Plus 2 will be 5. So look now, here is the value of 5. So accordingly, one by one, you will put these values into the equation and you will get the values of y. Okay, now these are the set of the values which are going to be plotted on the sheet of the graph paper, and then a freehand curve will be plotted. So here you can see now. So first we will choose a suitable scale for the x-axis and for the y-axis. So the scale for the x-axis is 2 centimeter to 1 unit, and for y-axis is 1 centimeter to 2 unit. So first we have drawn the x-axis and y-axis, and then these respective points will be plotted, and with the free hand that curve will be drawn. Okay, up to here question is done. So this is not simple. I'm telling you that will take a lot, that will require a lot of practice to make a smoother curve, and the points to be plotted is not easy even. So you have to work a lot, you have to practice a lot. So after drawing the curve, now we are able to solve the question. The further requirements are here. The requirement is the minimum value of y and the corresponding value of the x. So minimum value of y. So now look here on your graph. So from the graph you can see the minimum value of y is here because this is the minimum point on the curve. So from here we will check what is the minimum point of y. But again, look, one big box is represented by 2. So in one big box there are 5 small boxes. It means one small box will represent 0.4 value. So if this is touching here, so 1, 2 and 2.5, so 0.4, 0.8, and then 2, so 10. So it is actually 1. So 0.4, 0.8, and 1 will be here. So this is the point 1, and corresponding point at the x-axis is, so look now, this is -2, this is 0, this is -1. So it means this point is -1 and 1. So this is the answer. So here it is given. So you can see the minimum value of y is 1, and it occurs when x is equal to -1. Okay, the second requirement is the values of y when x is equal to -2.7, 1.4, and 2.3. So first we will find these values, but I'm telling you again and again, first the things should be clear in your mind. What value is represented by one small box on x-axis and y-axis? So look now, the -2.7. So this is the thing which I'm telling you that requires a lot of practice. So look now again. So -2.7. So here is 1, here is 2. Okay, first look. 10 small boxes are represented by 1. It means one small box will be represented by 0.1. So if this is -2, then we have to move further 7 small boxes. So here are 7 small boxes. So this is -2.7. Okay, from here we will draw a vertical line with the help of scale that will touch the graph, and from there we will draw a horizontal line. So this is a curve, so that curve actually will be cut at 2 points. So from here we will draw a horizontal line with the help of scale. So look now, this is the horizontal line. So at this point this value actually occurs. So for this value of x, this is the corresponding value of y, that is 4. Likewise, the next value was required 1.4. So here is 1. So we have to move further 4 small boxes. So this is 1.4. From here we will draw a vertical line, and from here we will draw a horizontal line to cut the y-axis. So this is the corresponding value of y for corresponding value of x, that is 1.4. And finally 2.3. So this is 2.3. So same procedure will be followed. So these are the corresponding values for x 2.3, y will be 12. Here is another question. Draw the graph of y is equal to 3 plus 2x minus x square for x is greater than or equal to -3, lesser than or equal to 5. And from the graph, and some requirements will be there, but the first task before us will be drawing the graph, and this is the most important task, because if the graph is drawn correctly, then things will be easy to find out. But if the graph is wrong, then everything will be wrong, whatever you do. So look now, x values are from -3 to +5. So we have write the values from -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now one by one, these values will be put into the equation to get the corresponding value of y. So look now, when -3 will be put into the x, so this will be -6. So 3 minus 6 will be -3, and this -3 square will be 9. So -3 minus 9 will be -12. So look now, this is the point, and one by one you will put these values of x into the equation to get the respective values of y. Okay, the next task will be, now we are actually looking at the values from minimum value and the maximum values of x and y. So next thing that we have to choose is the scale for the x-axis and y-axis. So look now, here is the graph now. So we have choose the scale for x-axis 1 centimeter to 1 unit, and for y-axis 1 centimeter to 2 unit. So first we will write the values on the y-axis and x-axis, and then the pair of the values will be plotted. So these are the pair of the values: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the method, I'm telling you another easy method and other important point to draw the curve. First, these 3 points, look now, 1, 2, and 3. These 3 points will be plotted with the freehand curve. And then gradually, this point will be joined by this. So look now, 1, 2, 3. So like this, and that will be extended further, like this, like this. So this is the freehand curve. And after this, now we are able to solve the rest of the parts. Now the thing that is required is the maximum value of y. So look now, here is the graph, and from the graph you can see this is the maximum value. Okay, and the maximum value of y is required. So from here we will join the y-axis with the help of scale, and that value is 4. So the maximum value of y is 4. Okay, the next part is B part. The values of y when x is equal to -1.9, 2.7, and 4.3. So these are the same method will be used for finding y when x are given. So we will find only 1 or 2 values. So look now, x -1.9. The thing necessary to find these kind of the values are, first you have to know what small box is representing for in the x-axis and the y-axis. So in the x-axis you can see one small box that is actually consisting of 5 small boxes represented by 1. So it means one small box will represent 0.2. And on the y-axis one small box is represented by 2. So it means 5 small boxes are represented by 2. So one small box will represent 0.4. So when x -1.9, so 0.2 are representing, so -1.9. So look now, this is the last small box midpoint will be -1.9. So first we have to put a point over there with the help of the pencil, because this is -2, this is -1, because one small box is representing 0.2 on the x-axis, so last small box mid will represent -1.9. So from here you will draw a vertical line on the to join the curve, and from there you will draw a horizontal line to intersect the y-axis. So this is the corresponding value of y when x is -1.9. Okay, the last thing is in the question the equation of the line of the symmetry of y is equal to 3 plus 2x minus x square. So look now again. Okay, in your graph paper you can see this is the line that actually cut the graph into two equal halves in such a way that they can overlap each other at this line. So this is the line x is equal to 1. So the line of symmetry is x is equal to 1. So look now. The equation of the line of the symmetry is x is equal to 1. Next topic in the lecture is problems involving quadratic graphs. So concentrate yourself now. Here is a question. So that is having more concepts, so you have to concentrate. The triangle has base x plus 2 and height 7 minus x centimeter. A part is write down an equation for the area. So the first thing that will be applied here, algebraic formula, because we know the area of the triangle is 1 by 2 into base into height. So base and heights are given. So look now, area is equal to 1 by 2 into base is given x plus 2 into height, and height is given 7 minus x. So putting values into the formula, and now open the brackets. So this is the equation which has been obtained now. So first part is done. Write down an equation for the area of the triangle. The second part is by constructing a table of the values of x greater than or equal to -3, lesser than or equal to 8. Plot the graph of a against x. So a will be plotted on y-axis and x as usual will be plotted on x-axis, and find the base and height that will result in the maximum area of the triangle. So that will be pointed out later. The first we have to draw the graph. So here is the equation now, and here is the condition that we have to follow for the values of the x. So look now. First, we will construct a table of the values of x and y. So -3 to 8. And now put these values one by one into the equation will give us the corresponding values of a. So here are the a's value. So this is not easy to find these values. That is time consuming and that will require a lot of concentration. So after constructing the table, the next task will be to choose a scale for the x-axis and for the y-axis. So look now, here is the scale that we have chosen for x-axis is 1 centimeter to 1 centimeter to 1 unit, and for a's axis is 2 centimeter to 5 units. So a will be drawn on y-axis and x-axis as usual on the x-axis. So 1 centimeter to 1 unit. So look now, one big box will be represented by 1 because 1 centimeter to 1 unit. 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on. And 2 centimeter to represent 5 units. So 2 big box will be represented by 5. So first we will write the values on the x-axis and y-axis. So this is the x-axis, y-axis, and after that we will plot these set of the values which we have made from the equation will be plotted on the sheet of the graph paper. So these are the points which have been plotted now. So these are the values which have been plotted now, and with the freehand that curve will be plotted. So start from here, because these are the points which will make the upper curve. So first these 4 points will be plotted like this. After that, further bend will be made like this, and then further. So start from here, then slowly here and here, and then move further. So this is the method to draw the curve. Okay, after drawing the curve, the requirement is now. So here is the question again. By constructing a table of the values, plot the graph and find the base and height that will result in the maximum area of the triangle. So actually we want maximum value for the A and the corresponding value of the X. So look now, if you have made the accurate graph, then the things will be very easy now. So look now at from the graph, this is the maximum point, which is actually from here you can see 10 is the value of A at the maximum level of the curve. So A is 10 and its corresponding value of the X is 2.5. So this is the way. From here you will join the y-axis with the help of scale, that is 10, and from here you will draw a vertical line with the help of scale to intersect the x-axis, so that is 2.5. So it means A is 10 when X is 2.5. Okay, the thing that is required is, look here again in the question. So the thing that is required is find the base and height. So actually this is the base and this is the height. 2x plus 2 is base and 7 minus x is height. So the value which we have obtained from the graph of x value, that will be put here and here. So x plus 2 will give us the base and 7 minus x will give us the height. So because it is the requirement, find the base and height that will result in the maximum area of the triangle. So look now, because x has been obtained, that is 2.5, so that 2.5 will be put now. So here is the rest of the question. From the graph, the value of x that corresponding to the maximum value of the A is 2.5. Therefore, the corresponding base and height are 2.5 plus 2. So x value has been put here, 2.5 plus 2, and 7 minus 2.5 will give us the height. So these are the values. Here is another question. Peter makes and sells handmade toys. He finds that if a batch of X toys is made, where X is greater than or equal to 1, lesser than or equal to 14, the cost per toy Y dollar is given by. So here is the equation, and here is the condition for X that we have to follow. The A part is draw the graph of this from 0 to 14 for x using 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 20 units on the y-axis. So this is again further conditions which are given. So x values, condition for x values is given, and the scales for the x-axis and y-axis is also given, which we have to follow. So when this kind of question come in the paper, that is much easier because conditions are given, we simply have to follow. So look now, first we will make the table for x. So from 1 to 14 values will be written, and then one by one putting into the equation will give us the respective values of the y, and then we will make the scale on the x-axis and y-axis according to this condition, using 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 20 units on the y-axis. So after making the scale and writing the values, then finally we will plot the values and join the points with the freehand curve. So look now how. So here is the procedure. So you can see in the table, we have plotted the values of x from 1 to 14. So here are the values. These are wrongly written, but you will write from 1 to 14 because this is the condition. And you will put one by one these values into the equation, will give you the respective y's values. So look further now. Now you will make a scale on the x-axis and y-axis. So scale is already given, you just have to follow the condition. This condition is x-axis 1 centimeter to 1 unit, and y-axis is 1 centimeter to 20 units. So look now, on the y-axis we are representing one big box by 20, and on the x-axis we are representing one big box with 1. So 1 2 3 4 5 up to so on, and on the y-axis 20 40 60 80 and up to so on. Now the values, pair of the values from the table will be plotted. So these points are plotted now, and with the help with the freehand you will join these points to make a curve. Okay, up to this question is done. Now the things which we have to do are even more interesting and new. So look now, B part. Use the graph to write down the number of the toys in a batch such that the cost per toy is a minimum and less than $60. So minimum and less than $60. So look now again, here is the graph. So minimum price is here. So from here, from this point, this is the minimum point, that is at 9. So from here you will intersect y-axis with the help of scale. So this is the point, but before this you have to be full grip on what value is representing one small box on the x-axis and on the y-axis. So on the x-axis actually 5 boxes are representing by 1, so it means 0.2 is representing one small box, and on the y-axis 5 small boxes are representing 20, so it means one small box will represent 4. So from here, that is 9. So the when the line will be joined with the y-axis, so look now. So this is the answer of the first part. Y is minimum when x is equal to 9. So when we will make 9 twice, the cost will be minimum. So this is written here. A result in the minimum cost per toy is 9. Okay, the second thing that is required in the question. So look now. Write down the number of the toys in a batch such that the cost per toy is less than 60. So number of the toys are required when the price is less than 60. So look now, here is the graph. So first you will note where is 60 on the y-axis. From here you will draw a line with the help of scale that will cut the curve at 2 points, because curve will cut the 2 points with this line from here and from here. So will be the values uh, at which the price will be minimum, that is from 4 to, I think so, 14. So when you will join the line, that will show you exactly. So from 4 to 14. So these are the twice when the price is less than 60. So look now, here is the answer. So y is less than 60, then x is greater than or equal to 4. Look now, this is the more detailed answer. Thus, the number of the twice in the batch that will result in the cost per twi being less than 60 are 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 14. Because lower than 4 or more than 14 will make cost above $60. Another question. Fendi kicks a soccer ball vertically upwards. The height h meter of the ball after t seconds is given by. So this is the height after t seconds. So here is the equation. The requirement is, by drawing a suitable graph, find the maximum height of the ball above the ground, the time required for the ball to reach the ground again, and C part the shortest time taken to reach the height of the 20 meters. Okay, here is the equation. First, we will let some values of t, and that will make us the corresponding values of h. So look now. So first we are going to construct a table of the values. So look now, we are letting values of t are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and by putting these values one by one into the equation will give us the corresponding values of h. So here is the set of the values. Now we will decide a scale for the x-axis and y-axis. So look now, here is the graph that is actually. So first we will choose a scale. So the scale chosen is, for t-axis is 2 centimeter to 1 unit, and for h-axis is 1 centimeter to 5 unit. Remember one more thing, always the independent value will be written on the x-axis and dependent value will be written on y-axis. So out of these two values, t and h, remember time is always independent. So that's why time will always be written on the x-axis, and whatever the other value is, that will be written on the y-axis. Okay, now the corresponding values of the set of the values will be plotted on the sheet of graph paper, and then with the help of the freehand, a curve will be drawn. Okay, up to here the question is done. So the next thing now that is required. So look now, B part the time required for the ball to reach the ground again. So it means first we have to check from where the ball has started the journey, and then again, so this is the point from where the ball has started its journey upward, and this is the point where it touches the ground again. So these are actually the intersecting points of the x-axis. So from here to here, so this is the point 4.5. Again, the thing required in this kind of the questions, first you have to check what one small box is representing. So on the x-axis, 10 small boxes are representing by 1. It means one small box will represent 0.1. And on the y-axis, 10 small boxes are represented by 10. So one small box will represent 1. So here is 4.5. That is actually exactly between the 4 and 5, so that's why this is 4.5. So from here 0 to 4.5, time will be 4.5 seconds. So look now, here is the answer. When h is equal to 0, t is equal to 0 or 4.5, the time taken for the ball to reach the ground again is 4.5. Okay, the next thing that is required in the question is C part. The shortest time taken to reach the height of 20 meters. Okay, so first we will check the value 20 on the y-axis, and from there, so look now, here is the value 20 on the y-axis. From here, with the help of scale, we will intersect our graph. So the graph is intersecting here and here. So the minimum time, I think so, was required. So this is the time, that is 0.45, because this is the other value, that is 3.55. So look now, here is the explanation. So when h is equal to 20 meters, t is equal to 0.95 or 3.55 seconds, the shortest time taken for the ball to reach a height of 20 meter is 0.55, because this is the minimum time that is required. If the requirement was maximum time, so then the other value will be selected. So these are the techniques which you have to understand. Here is a very important question. So these kind of the questions come in the paper which make the students confused. So look now, in the sketch, the curve y is equal to x square plus 2x minus 3 cuts the x-axis at 2 points A and B. So look now, here are A and B cutting by this graph, and the y-axis at point C, and here is the point C. M is the minimum point, so this is the minimum point which is given on the graph. Okay, requirement is write down the coordinates of points A, B, C and M. Okay, look now, first we will factorize the right side of the equation. So here is the solution now. So look now. Okay, first we will factorize the right side of the equation. So this will be the answer, x minus 1 into x plus 3. So because at x-axis y will be 0, so we will put y equal to 0 in place of y. Right side x minus 1 into x plus 3 will remain as it is. And from here you can see x will be equal to 1 or minus 3. So these are the points on the x-axis. So the point will become 1 0 and minus 3 0. So look now again on the curve. So from the curve you can see A is the point on the negative x-axis and B is the point on the positive x-axis. So this will be minus 3 0 and this will be 1 0 point. So A and B are done. Okay, further look now for y-axis, because this point is on the y-axis, so we will put x is equal to 0, because x is 0 on the y-axis and y 0 on the x-axis. So now the point which is going to be find out is on the y-axis, so we will put x is equal to 0 into the curve. So here is the curve. So look now, we are putting x is equal to 0, so this and this factor will become 0, so y is equal to minus 3. So it means we have put the value of x 0 and corresponding value is minus 3. So 0 minus 3 will be the point, that is C. And you can see from here, yes, here is the point, that is 0 minus 3. By putting x is equal to 0, y will be minus 3. So 0 minus 3 is the C point. Okay, the final point M is very important. So concentrate yourself now. So here is the graph now. So M is actually the minimum point. So that is actually the midpoint of A and B. So first we will find the midpoint of A and B's x coordinate. So x coordinates were actually minus 3 and 1. So finding the midpoint of minus 3 and 1. So minus 3 plus 1 divided by 2. So minus 3 plus 1 will make minus 2, divided by 2 will make minus 1. So this is actually minus 1. So x coordinate will be minus 1. So that minus 1 will be put into the equation. So minus 1 square will be 1. This will be minus, this will make minus 2. So 1 minus 2 will be minus 1 and minus 3 will be minus 4. So it will be minus 4 y coordinate. So minus 1 minus 4 will be the coordinates of the M. So look now the working. Here is the answer. To find M, we have to find the x value of the midpoints of A and B. So by putting the formula of the midpoint, so minus 3 plus 1 divided by 2 will make minus 1. So now this minus 1 will be put into the original equation. So look now, y's corresponding value will be minus 4. So this is actually the point M, that is minus 1, minus 4.